Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that changed my life in ways that I didn't even expect. I went on a 40-day fast. Things started making a lot more sense. I started having a lot more peace, more clarity. I just moved different, okay? I'm built different now.
Straight to a penthouse, Miami Beach. Yeah, yo. Talk crazy on tweets. They don't want it cause I come to defeat. They don't want it. I peep, these niggas all sweet. Bamboo sticks all in the Jeep. It's a new weirdo every week. Get the work, put it up for my seeds. No care for the IG, just no care. Anything for clout. Anything for clout.
Hey babes, and welcome to another video with your BFF4L. I'm Shelethia Tre'Nae, and welcome back to my channel. How are you guys doing today? Let me tell you, I am so excited about all the things that I have to speak to today in today's video. I'm just so ready to get into it, you guys. Like, we gotta talk about a lot of stuff, okay? But first, before we jump into it, I just want to acknowledge that I have done some redecorating in this room, you guys. I am so excited. I've been trying to make this space my own and just, dibbling and dabbling into decor and, really just spicing up a room, getting some interior design stuff going on in here. I wanted to create a space that was comfortable for me and just a vibe so that I can create these videos that I want to create for you guys. I hope that you guys are enjoying this background as much as I am, and I'm so happy that I get to share it with you guys. I also want to welcome you to my channel if you are new here. My name is Shelethia Tre'Nae, and I like to refer to myself as your BFF4L. That stands for Beauty and Fashion for Lifestyle Content, which is all that my channel is about. So if you are all about that and you enjoyed today's video, then please hit that subscribe button. The Beauty Gang and I would love to have you. And if you are a returning subscriber, then hey girl, hey, welcome back, and let's get into today's video. Okay guys, so I have my notes here to the left of me, so if you see me looking at my screen, that is what I'm looking at. I just want to make sure that I'm staying on topic for today's video because we do have a lot of things that we need to get into. Lots to talk about today, okay? In times where you feel that your life is just getting a little bit too noisy, your mind is a little bit cluttered, there's chaos everywhere, and your peace just seems a little bit easily disrupted. You may find yourself in an endless scroll, whether it's on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and you just get tired of the day-to-day chaos and you find yourself just needing a mental break from everything. You are not alone, okay? That is exactly where I just was a few months ago, and I'm going to tell you how I shifted from that mindset and was able to cultivate a life of clarity and peace that I knew that I desired, but I just didn't really know how to get to it before. Today, I want to talk to you guys about something that changed my life in ways that I didn't even expect. I took a back seat to the things that I felt were driving my life in a negative direction, such as posting on social media, consuming content on a daily basis, finding myself getting lost in all the chaos of what I was consuming, overspending financially, just spending sporadically with no budget or no plan, and also just feeding my mind and my body and my soul with things that just essentially weren't good for me in the long run. So to avoid that, I went on a 40-day fast, not just from eating certain foods or eating things, but also the things that I felt were distracting me in life, and even certain habits that I had not known that I had created. And today I just want to share with you guys what happened to me during that time, the growth, the clarity, the reconnection, and why honestly, I don't ever want to go back to how things were before. So guys, let's talk about why I decided to go on this fast in the first place. Well, let me just tell you, I go to a church here in the local area, and they do this fast every single year. Now, last year was my first time ever doing the fast with the church, right? That fast was a 2-week fast, and we did what is called the Daniel fast. And if you're not familiar with the Daniel fast, I encourage you to look it up. It is a very good fast. But this year, they decided to do a 40-day fast. And this was a progressive fast. So not only were you out of certain foods, you were out of certain social media platforms, certain communications with people, your finances were on lock, your entertainment, gaming, all of those avenues you were limiting yourself to. And each week it got a little bit harder. Now, I debated on whether or not I wanted to do this fast or not because I just didn't know if I was up for the challenge. This will be the first time that I've ever put myself through, something that strenuous, and it was a little bit complicated to me, and I was fearful. I'm not going to lie, I was very fearful that I would get to a certain extent in the fast and then give up and feel like a failure. So mentally, I was just a little bit taken aback by how long the fast was going to be. I didn't want to be a disappointment. We are so stuck in our ways sometimes that we can talk ourselves out of what we are doing for the better. And let me give you a perfect example of that. If I am on social media all day long and I'm consuming content and doing all of this and that, and I'm looking at it as a break, right? I'm like, I just want a break. This is a mental break. I'm just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, enjoying myself, right? I'm not doing anything productive. I'm not getting anything from consuming that much content. And I'm a content creator myself. I should be creating content, right? But no, I'm stuck in my way of consuming. It's very easy for me to tell myself that I need to be on social media for inspiration for my own business ventures, right? It's very easy for me to create this need for a habit that I know is a bad one. When it comes down to fasting, I feel that a lot of people, including myself, are able to justify why we don't want to give up certain things. And when you're put in that position to be a little bit uncomfortable, it can get a little scary. And that is where I was initially. I decided to go on the fast because I also have learned in many experiences in my life that sometimes those uncomfortable situations that you're being forced to go to are the best decisions that you can ever do for your life. And so I decided I'm going to challenge myself. I'm going to get through this. And that was my motivation for getting through this fast and for even being called to do it. I felt like if I was called to do it, then that was just my goal. I had to do it. And I'm so glad that I did, because on that journey, I learned so much. And we're going to get into that because there are some things in there that I had never done before. I had never combined finances with entertainment, with social media limitations all in one, as well as food. I had never done that. So just to put myself in such an unpredictable situation where I'm basically going cold turkey on all the things that I love doing, that was fearful for me. But that is why people do decide to go on fast, right? That's why they do it. They do it to become a little bit more spiritually in tune. Some people are waiting on answers, waiting on doors to open. So they give a sacrifice and they pray over it and hoping to receive something back. As you get closer to God and you ask God for that clarity, for that peace, for that answer, then you, in response, you get what you are hoping for and what you're desiring. And so that is why most people go on fast. It's not meant to be comfortable. And that is what I learned on that journey. So first off, let me be real. Let's talk about the social media aspect of things. I stopped posting on social media for 3 whole months. Okay. The fast was only for 40 days. I went on a longer extended period of not posting because on my fast, I had the realization that my content posting was not where I wanted it to be. And I enjoyed the break because you guys know I did Vlogmas. I was posting throughout the year last year, and this year I just wanted something different, just a little bit more in it, for a lack of better words. I just wanted something different. And I felt like I was being called to do certain things on my social media journey. And I just had to take like a back seat to it just to kind of focus on what ideas were coming in my head and what God was telling me to do. I'm really excited about the journey that I'm going on, and you guys will see that later as I post more. But it took a lot for me personally to not post anything, to even going to not consuming anything, and then just jumping right back into it. You have a completely different mind space. I feel that social media today has become a little bit more negative than it should be. And I'm not sure if it's always been that way, but I feel that lately it has been a little bit more negative, and the things that I'm seeing on social media just do not motivate me. They don't inspire me. I'm at this current time in my life, when I log on to social media, there's no one that is inspiring me. No one's doing anything different out of the box that is challenging my brain or my mind. And for me, it's depressing a bit to log into it and see that. And I felt that maybe I was just consuming so much that it just became like a habit that, it's like, okay, what's next? What's new? I had gotten so used to posting everything, checking everything, being everywhere online, and then I stopped. And when I stopped, it felt like something was missing, right? Like there was a void that was there. And in order for me to get over that discomfort and that void, I allowed God to start filling that space. Me and God are locked in like this now, okay? Like we are best friends. I talk to him about literally everything because I just have to have those conversations with him. Like I can't sugarcoat it. I can't hide anything. We're locked in, okay? We are talking. The moment that I started doing that, things started making a lot more sense. I started having a lot more peace. I started having a lot more clarity. I just moved different, okay? I'm built different now. I just have a non-tolerance for anything that is disruptive in my life, period. I'm not interested in doing things the way that certain people want to do it. I'm not interested in playing mind games. I'm not interested in any negativity, any gossiping, anything that does not serve me in a positive way or being put in a situation where I can inspire others. Day one through me felt like boredom. And it's really sad to say, but it's the reality of it. Because why is it that when you are consumed with something so much in the moment that is taken away from you or you give it up as a sacrifice, you don't know what to do with yourself. You have no clue what life outside of social media is. That was me, okay? After I gave up social media for that extended period of time, I started finding myself looking for things to do. Like I don't have access to my phone. I can't just doom scroll. I can't do any of that stuff. The point of a whole fast is to fill that void with getting closer to God and getting the clarity and the answers that you need. In addition to that boredom, I had cravings, I had headaches, I had mood swings, I had energy crashes. Your girl was like going through a whole little like withdrawal because it's like, what do you do? Any temptations or moments that I had, I wanted to quit. I did, but I knew that this was bigger than me. It was bigger than myself and what I wanted. I started getting more closer to God and growing on my spiritual journey. And that is when I noticed a lot of things started to change. And as I progressed on the fast, the days got easier and easier. It was just those first like 3 days where it was just a little bit challenging. I was still figuring out things. But as I progressed forward, I learned so much. And I felt like after a while, it was more days behind me than it was in front of me. So that was also motivation for me. Okay. As my spirituality started growing, I started hearing from God more clearly. I started understanding myself better. Instead of reaching for my phone when I woke up, I reached for my Bible or my devotional book or my journal. There were times where I just sat quietly in prayer. And it wasn't these long, deep prayers every time. Sometimes I would just say, God, show up in my life today and just take over, or God, be with me today. And he was. And sometimes that's all you need. On this fast, I learned that God speaks the loudest when you're still enough to listen. And believe me, that is not the easiest thing to do. The next thing that I was able to realize when I stopped posting on social media is that I was able to have a clear headspace to start thinking. I didn't realize how foggy my mind had gotten until the fog started lifting, okay? Without a million opinions flooding my timeline, my thoughts were my own thoughts again. I didn't have to focus on anything that could have persuaded me otherwise or shifted me a different direction. My own perspective was mine, and it was clear, it was concise, and I felt that I was being fed by God to just have my own internal thought that I wasn't easily influenced by anything else because I didn't have any outlets to anything. That is a great feeling to have ideas just populating in your head, and you're able to go through the motions in real time without any outside influence. I feel that today in society, we lose sight of that, and we also take it for granted because we're on social media, we're scrolling. For example, you see someone on social media on a post and they're performing, there's 1,000 comments on it, and you're looking at the performance and you're like, oh my God, I think they did so good. And then you go through the comments and it's full of all hate.
Did you see the way she did this? She's copying this person and she's not original and she's da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
And then you start to have a different opinion. You're like, wait, you know what? I didn't think of it like that. Actually, you're right. Now I don't like it anymore. And it is sometimes easy to have that, those opinions sway your own original perspective. To have a space where you have your own ideas, your own real ideas, your own positive ideas is a great feeling to have, not just reactions from what you may have seen online. And what I learned from just being able to take a back seat from online presence, when you're full of the world, you have no room for the word. And that is what you need to get through, your life. I would be nothing without the word. Like, I am so glad that I was able to consume as much as I did. I read the whole New Testament of the Bible on my 40-day fast, you guys. Front to back, every single chapter. And I have never been able to just sit and open the Bible and read it and understand it like that. I kind of just have navigated my way through the Bible in a way that is through like church or through like hearsay or like podcasts and things like that. Or like I'll have like the Bible app on my phone and I'll see like the different like daily scriptures. I get that, and I get daily scriptures sent to me from prayer.com. But I have never just really I won't say never, but in a very long time, I haven't been able to just sit and actually study the word and read it and interpret it and make I just haven't been able to do that, and maybe shame on me, and I'm glad that I am where I am now. But until I had that moment of quiet, I wasn't able to actually do that. And so I'm really proud of myself for that. That's one of my happiest moments while being on this fast, because it's not always about what you give up, but sometimes it's about what you gain, and being able to gain the word that you can use in every aspect of your life and can be applicable to any situation that you're in. It's like knowledge forever. It's just a great feeling to have been taught that and to learn that and internalize that, and then be able to express that outwardly. I also learned to stop multitasking life. So instead of doing 10 things halfway, a half job, I could focus on one thing and do it well. Whether it was just a work project or helping my kids around the house or even just having a conversation, I was present. I was actually there with people. It allowed me to create a space where I stopped caring about what other people were doing or what other people were saying or thinking. I realized how much peace comes to you when you stop comparing your life to the lens and the highlight reels of other people's lives. The next thing I learned, sometimes silence and stillness will teach you more than noise ever will. And what I realized is when you start to slow down, you get a better picture of things that really matter. The next thing I noticed when I stopped posting on social media is that I had heightened self-discipline. Something that someone told me a while ago, and it has stuck with me. If you cannot have self-discipline, then you are not respecting yourself and you're not loyal to yourself. Because how can you respect yourself if you just allow yourself to go out and do whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do it, and not put much thought and care into packaging up yourself so nicely and taking care of you mentally and physically? That influenced me on this fast. Just having that self-discipline and knowing that I'm doing this for a greater cause and filling those voids with something that is giving back to me spiritually and growing me, you have a different perspective on things. For me, it's one thing to be able to resist cravings and binge eating and binge whatever else, but also to limit your entertainment, your finances. You may not be able to go out and buy the things that you wanted to buy. So for me, for example, on the 40-day fast, if I can remember correctly, there were times where I could not text anyone. I could not call anyone. I couldn't eat certain foods. I had to deny myself a lot of things, okay? It was very easy for me sometimes to teeter the line and to say, hey, well, I know it says this, but maybe I can get by with doing something a little similar. At the end of the day, I'm disrespecting myself and my values and my loyalty to myself and to God because I committed to something that I am sitting here now trying to talk myself out of. That self-discipline that I learned is carrying me even after the fast because I no longer will sit there and convince myself of anything that I know is not the original plan, or it's not going to benefit me in any type of way. No, we're not disrespecting ourselves anymore. We're not teetering the line. We're too old to be playing these games of, well, I could get away with this. No, at the end of the day, you're only hurting yourself. You have no willpower and you have no self-control. I think that self-discipline can apply to many different areas in our lives, especially when it comes down to growing yourself mentally and putting yourself in positions where you are destined to succeed. That includes hanging out with people that are a little more positive, watching out who you surround yourself with, watching out the places that you go, the people's lives that you are watching, the activities you do, the things that you eat. Minding these things are the things that help you to stay on track with your goals. No good goal worth reaching is ever going to be easy. And so you have to be able to have that self-discipline to get to where you're trying to go. It is a little bit uncomfortable and I experienced a lot of discomfort during this fast, but you'll be surprised how much you are able to achieve and accomplish in your moments of discomfort. I had to realize that fasting is feasting, but it's just feasting on the right things, such as mental clarity, such as focus, such as the answers that you need, doors that you wanted open a long time ago, getting closer with God, feeding yourself spiritually, feeding yourself mentally. Maybe you're able to read a book more, you're able to get outside and get in nature more, you're able to spend more time with your family, have more positive conversations with friends or strangers that you never would have talked to before because you were so busy scrolling on your phone as you're walking out and everybody's on the go. But sometimes when you're put in those situations where you just need that mental clarity, you'll be surprised what comes to your doorstep. Some things just come to you and you're being fed on all different aspects, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. I felt fed, and that is one thing that I am so grateful that I was able to do on this fast. I realized that when I let go of social media, I was able to feel more calmer. I didn't have many mood swings. I had a boost of energy. Physically, I felt much better. Mentally, I felt much lighter, and I just felt more present. Having that discipline is choosing what you want most over what you want now. And what that means is there's a bigger picture of why you are choosing to sacrifice something, whatever it is. You are sacrificing the things that you want now in the moment for those things, the things that matter the most, the bigger picture. Sometimes you have to quiet the body and everything around you to hear the soul. I didn't just empty my stomach. I didn't just empty my mind, my pockets. I made space for things that really mattered the most in my life. And all of that stuff came back to me tenfold. When you're able to slow down and take a back seat, you're able to see the things that really matters to you. The next thing that I learned when I stopped posting on social media is that healing isn't just physical. It's also mental, emotional, and spiritual. This fast taught me that I am stronger than my cravings in all aspects. And let me just tell you, the real transformation happens when that discomfort ends, okay? The me that started this fast is nowhere near the same me that I was when I ended this fast. Being able to just sit and just think about all the things that you want to change and all the things that you want to do, the path that you want to take, I was able to get outside a lot more. I was able to do things that were nurturing to my body, to my mind, to my soul. I was able to read books. I was able to walk on nature, and little things would just jump out at me that normally wouldn't jump out to me before. I got to see things in a much different picture and a much clearer headspace. So walking, for example, things would just come to me in my mind that wouldn't normally come to me when I wasn't on the fast, okay? More positive thoughts, more thoughts that were healing to me. And that's a great feeling to have because you learn that you are growing. When I finally stopped posting on social media, I felt a strange silence. But in that silence, something very powerful happened. I found myself rediscovering hobbies that I love, such as skating, going on runs, going on walks, getting out more. I spent more time with people who didn't care about likes, who didn't care about followers or posting content. And I let myself feel without needing to package it into this more presentable way for people. One of the biggest things that I am so happy that I was able to gain was authenticity and letting it shine. I stopped filtering myself literally and emotionally. This was me. I'm showing up as me and I'm doing things that I want to do in the way that I want to do it. I don't care about trends and I feel called to be me and to do what I want to do. And I'm so glad that I feel so comfortable doing that because there has always been like a sense of worry about what people will say, what people will think, and that's normal. Those feelings are completely valid and they're completely normal. But what they tend to do is consume you sometimes. And in order to get over all of that hurt that you receive, accept yourself for who you are, stand on your business 10 toes down. If I wanted to do it, I will. And I'm backed by God and I know that my intentions are pure. Here's me. And that's just what it is. You are able to live so much more peacefully and abundantly when you put all that other noise to the side and focus on you and what matters the most to you. What I notice is when you are able to take that pressure off of you, you are able to just move a little bit more comfortably. You are able to feel less overwhelmed, more seen, and like you're living more than you are performing and showing up to do a job. I would encourage you, if you are trying to heal a part of you or to find any type of healing, I would definitely recommend logging off for a few days, few months, however long you feel called to do, and really tune in with yourself, your goals, your desires, pray about it, and just let it lead you onto a path that is designed specifically for you. My encouragement to anyone who is looking to get off of social media for a little while, start small, okay? Be kind to yourself. It's not about perfection. If you fall off the bandwagon, it's okay to get back on it, pick up where you left off, and keep charging forward. At the end of the day, it just matters that you are learning something from it and you are moving forward in a positive direction. You certainly don't have to do it for as long as I did. Just do what you're called to do. The fast was only 40 days. I stayed off of social media for about 3 months. That was my choice. No one else called me to do that. That is just something that I decided that I wanted to do just to make sure that I was still putting into practice the things that I learned while I was on the fast and to just develop a habit of the positive things that I learned while I was on the fast. Another piece of advice I would offer to you, fasting isn't just about denying yourself, but it's about discovering yourself. What can you learn? How can you be better in the areas that you are weak? Acknowledging that you are weak in certain areas and placing yourself in those uncomfortable positions, those uncomfortable situations to get to the other side where you can be comfortable again. These are lessons that I learned when I just took that backseat to social media and was able to put the things that matter to me the most first. And to me, that is God. And that is why I chose to do a fast. Social media is my weak link. Like, to me, I do so much on social media, right? That's how I connect with a lot of people. That's how I'm able to do my content. That's how I'm able to show up and promote myself and my brand. It was so easy for me to justify why I don't need to give it up. But those are the areas where you are the weakest, because those are the areas that you've never placed yourself in a position to give it up, to sacrifice it. You're so dependent on it, and that is a problem. But what I want you to get out of this video is to find that mental clarity, that peace that you need to take a back seat to whatever it is in your life that is stopping you from progressing, or that you feel you can't give up. That is the thing that you need to give up for a little bit. Taking that time away for me showed me that this world will keep spinning whether I post or not. But your world, your mind, your spirit, your family, those are the things that matters the most. And when you slow down, take a back seat, and really nurture those things, it changes everything. And if you're ever feeling that little nudge, that little tug to just slow down, I would encourage you to take that, to listen to it, even if it's just for a few days, because you know what? You deserve that peace, and you deserve to discover yourself in ways that you've never been able to discover yourself before. All right, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If it resonated with you, sometimes the best growth happens when we step away. So if you know someone that needs to just step away for a little bit, who's afraid to step away, please feel free to share this video with you. I encourage you to do so. Also, if you like this video, please be sure to like, comment down below, and subscribe to my channel. Also, hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out from any posts that I post in the future. It really helps me to grow on YouTube, and I'm so thankful that you've watched this video to this point. I really want to know your thoughts, so please comment down below and let's chit chat. Drop down some things that you want me to talk about. I am really into my expressing myself bag this year, and so I want to do a lot of chit chats, a lot of sit downs with you guys. And so if you have any topics that you want to hear me talk about, or you want to hear my perspective on, comment down below and let your girl know, and I will get that video out for you ASAP. Okay, as always, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to be yourself, be you, be untamed, and be beautiful. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.